Well, this is an absolute first for me. I've never ever interviewed a CEO or a CTO of a publicly traded company. So let's welcome Tamir and Pritesh.
I mean, taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of.
Let them hear you, everybody. Make some noise.
Welcome. I'm hoping they're going to be funny. Pritesh is pretty funny, so I'm sure he's going to drop a clanger.
And he's an amazing dancer as well.
He is. Maybe we'll put some tunes on later and Pritesh can dance for us. Well, thank you. So I think Tamir may win the award for travel the furthest.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Just a few hours on a plane. And Pritesh, thank you for driving up, a Florida fellow person.
My pleasure.
So for those of you who are not with Real, which is quite a few of you in the room, Tamir is our CEO and co-founder, and Pritesh is our CTO. He is the wizard behind our tech, and Tamir is the rest of the wizard. I had the pleasure of bringing my independent brokerage over to Real back in July 2022. And when I came over, we were about 5,000 agents, probably, somewhere in that 5,000 to 6,000 range. In Florida, we were just shy of 200. And currently, we're over 16,000. And in Florida, we're knocking on the door of 1,000, which has been phenomenal. So to the outside looking in, it may look like we were an overnight success and still continuing. Tamir, I would love you to share how that is so not true.
It is true.
Oh, okay.
No. So we actually started Real back in 2014. I think that everybody started hearing about us maybe in 2021, 2022. But definitely not an overnight success. It was a grind. And I think we went through all the typical stages of a startup of, starting very small with a big vision of, wanting to make agents' lives better. We didn't know as much as we know today. We were underfunded many times. We had to lay off a lot of people. We were very close to shutting down the company a couple of times. So we went through everything. But I think that at some point in the middle of 2020 or the end of 2020, things started going our way, which is fun. I cannot say it's getting easier. It's not. But I don't think that there's a business that I can point out to and say, okay, like if you go in that direction, you will experience overnight success. It just doesn't exist. And you probably know that from your businesses. It takes many, many years. It takes a lot of failures. And if there was one good advice that I received from somebody I appreciate, one of our investors, is he told me, always make sure that the company stays alive. Because if your business is alive, something good will happen. Even if you're experiencing the worst year of your career, even if everything looks very negative right now, just keep going because you will figure out eventually. Something will happen, you will take the right turn, the market will shift, you will get the client that will kind of uplift your business. Just hang in there and things will happen. And I think that this probably is the one thing that made us arrive to this day today.
Awesome. So when did you first begin the company? I know it didn't have this name to begin with either. It morphed.
It started in June of 2014. So coming up to a 10-year anniversary very soon.
Awesome. Fantastic. Woo! Pritesh. So I don't think it's any secret there are other people out there who sell real estate outside of Real. What for you, and Tamir, I'm going to ask you this question also, what for you makes Real different compared to other brokerages out there?
Well, I don't know too many brokerages. My background is not real estate, as you know. The way I got into the business was we were buying too many homes for investments, and I saw this inefficiency in my perspective in the conversation that was happening between my wife and all the agents that we were working with. So I ended up building something that was in many ways Pinterest and Slack put together for real estate. So if you can visualize that, that was the mission. And then along the way, I met Tamir, and Real acquired the company. So that's how I got in. So I've never worked for another brokerage, right? So part of the reason Tamir and I are together is because we're aligned on what we want to build, which is the future of real estate, not the next new brokerage, right? Like we want to build a future brokerage. So what we have today is table stakes. It's like, that's what I say it. Like I say it out loud. What we have is table stakes. Like this is what it takes to build a brokerage. But what we will have 3 years from now is going to be amazing. But it takes time to build it. You'll see it happen over 3 years. So like, a good way to think about it is like on an incremental basis, your iPhone doesn't get better, right? But if anybody has an iPhone 1, put it next to your phone and see how much it changed, right? Like that's the way technology works. It's not visible on an incremental basis, but you have to zoom out enough. Like 10 years ago, like Windows Vista, and now we have Windows 7, right, or 11 or whatever. I use Mac, so I'm sorry. But so that's my answer.
Awesome. Tamir, what do you think sets us apart?
Yeah. Well, you asked what's different, and I think that first of all, the difference for me is that it's our baby. So other brokerages are not my baby. Second, I think that what we've been focusing from the very beginning is on doing the right thing. And for us, doing the right thing is taking decisions through the lenses of our agents. Like this is what's leading this company. Is this good for our agents? Is this beneficial for them? Is this the right thing for our agents? And then you ask the other questions. Is this good for the company, for investors, for whoever? And I think that this is very different because very often companies, corporations are looking through the lenses of bottom line, or how do we serve investors, or what kind of perception will we have in the market. For us, it's not that. And I think that was an important decision that we made. And then the last thing, which is probably the most important, is the people that are building this company together. And I see a lot of faces in this room who are true partners. Those are people who chose to take their career, take their lives, and just invest them in this partnership that we have been building together. And I think that this is differentiated. I think that we have an extraordinary amount of talent, skill, experience. I'm not referring to myself, I'm probably lucky, but everybody else is just amazing as a partner. And I think that we just managed to gather the right group of people.
When I speak about real to other people, one of the questions I get asked is, so are you a real estate company or a technology company? And I know what my answer is, but Pratesh, what would your answer be to that question?
I mean, I typically like to say we're a technology real estate company. But that's because my title has technology in it. But no, I think we're I don't know. We've started saying that we are the Amazon of real estate internally. And I think it will be very visible and apparent in a few years. So what Amazon did to retail is what we want to do to real estate.
Wow.
So I'll tell you a secret.
I love it when he says that.
Until 2018, I think, I didn't even know what the meaning of technology is. Like if I ask all of you guys, what does technology mean? Like what's the definition of technology in the I don't know. Like what is it? Nobody knows. And I went and I looked it up. Like 6 years into being the CEO of a tech company, I went to look up the term technology. And what I found out is that there is no one definition for technology, but the common definition is systems and processes that help solve problems. So a technology company is a company that applies systems and processes in order to solve problems. And in that sense, I think that Real is a technology company. I think that we're a technology company that runs a real estate business. And we've been kind of asking ourselves that very question for many, many years. But I think that now when everybody is starting to see the advantage that our technology provides, people start to understand, and we also start to understand that we are a tech company that operates a massive real estate business as well. But I think that we're getting closer and closer to that definition of a tech company.
Awesome. So piggybacking off that, in my opinion, the biggest value for Real is the people and its technology. Talking about what's coming on the technology, or even what we already have, Pritesh, can you talk about what we have that is different from other brokerages or traditional models, and maybe give us a little peek on what's coming in the future?
Sure. So, and this has been like the hardest question to answer because, as you all know, all brokerages are technology brokerages. So, defining that was my attempt to make a joke, but it clearly failed.
Made me laugh.
I laughed.
But someone gave me this stat, and this is a really cool stat. I'm not going to say the name of the brokerage, but there's a brokerage that does twice as many transactions as does us per year, and has a team of 400 people as their transactions team, and we have 9. So that is our technology in many ways, right? So sure, you have an app, and you can do your whole business on that app. In theory, you don't need to call us and that would be ideal state. You call us to give us kudos or something, but that's current state, and we'll probably keep optimizing on it. For people who understand the real model, it's extremely competitive, so we rely on our technology to do quite a bit of the work. The future is more exciting because I said what we have is table stakes. This is what we need to do business. For people who know, we don't license anything. We've built everything. So we have our own dot loop, sky slope, signature products, AI, everything. We built everything in-house, right? It gives us an edge. And sitting on top of this, we can launch something like Real Wallet. And does anybody know about Real Wallet yet? Tamir can do a better job. Maybe you want to talk about Real Wallet?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that generally technology is meaningless unless it works for you and it does something for you and it adds value, it saves you time or allows you to make more money. Specifically about the wallet, what we realized about a year ago is that agents build a lot of assets on top of our platform. So pending transactions are an asset because they will turn into cash. Past transactions are an asset because it allows us to predict your future productivity. Equity that you have in the company is an asset. Revenue share that you earn is an asset. And then we asked ourselves, okay, how can we take all of those assets and actually leverage them in order to provide our agents the fuel they need, the monetary fuel they need in order to grow their businesses? So what if we had an agent that has been with Real for 2 years, we know exactly that person's production patterns, we know that they earn a little bit of revenue share, they have some equity in the company. Why not extend a $20,000 credit line to that person? And that person can use that credit line to buy leads, invest in marketing, whatever they want. So the Real Wallet is essentially a digital wallet in which our agents will have a debit card through which they will be able to spend all of their earnings on Real. And if they actually swipe the debit card, they earn points that will offset brokerage fees. So we can get to a point in which you pay nothing to Real in fees because you use the debit card. And then there's a credit card component that's based on a credit line that we will be able to underwrite and provide our agents based on all of the data points that we have. This is a very different way of thinking. If, again, going back to, are we a brokerage, are we a tech company? A brokerage would never think about something like this, will never be able to execute something like this. But this is coming up, by the way, in a couple of months. So the wallet is just another evolution of our technology. And then the wallet will also expand into consumer credit as well. So you as agents, let's say you're running a team of 20 agents, you as the team leader, you will have a credit line from us that you will be able to distribute to your agents. And you will have a credit card with your team logo on it, and you will be able to attract agents to your team through that, which is a perk that nobody else has. But furthermore, if you're working with a client and that client needs some down payment assistance or they need to purchase some things for the new home, you will be able to extend credit to them through that facility that we will be offering you. So again, this is mind-blowing, but this is reality at Real within a couple of months.
And again, just to add on to this a little bit, the reason we can do this, I mean, others will do it, and I hope others do it because it's good for the industry. The reason we can do this is because we built everything. So we don't have to rely on third-party products to understand your open transactions or your history or your credit profile. We have all that data. So because we have all this data, we can sit on top of it and then build a credit profile like a credit card company, right? The difference between a credit card company and us is obviously we are able to look at data that they don't have. This is why it makes it special, right? So a credit card company like Chase would not have access to your open transactions. The only way to leverage open transactions today is to go to a commission advance company, which has a stigma to it, right? But everybody has a credit card here, right? So it's not that people are shy of borrowing money or leveraging their assets. It's about how it's done. So we're modernizing that aspect of it and putting it in your wallet. And then the next challenge is to, what are the 4 cards in your wallet and how do you get use out of it, right? And we have to make it exciting for you. So when you swipe, you get points. Those points offset your fees, maybe some other benefits, stuff like that.
How did the conversation come about of, let's get into the credit card business? I didn't share these questions with them ahead of time, just so you know.
So in the real estate space, you have either people that are extremely good at real estate or people that are very good at technology. And I think that Pritesh has a very lethal combination of knowing agents' businesses extremely well because he's talking to agents all day and understanding technology at the highest level. And I think that enables us to think outside of the box.
Well, I'll tell you the real story. So 18 months ago, he's right. There was this idea of hey, we need to do embedded. This is called embedded finance. It's other businesses have done this. Uber has done it. Uber loans money to buy cars. There are many other verticals that have done it. So I pitched this idea about a credit card, and it just got trashed on the board meeting. And then it took us 18 months to iron out all the kinks and get everybody comfortable with the idea that we'll do it. And then Tamir and I worked 18 months straight to figure out all the details. But it took a while. It took 18 months.
And it's almost ready.
I hope it's almost ready.
You're the only one who can testify.
It's just this.
No pressure.
This is hard because we don't want to sit on stuff too long because nothing works at launch. It's just the hard fact about technology. So if you wait too long, it's still going to not work when it launches.
So just hope it doesn't not work too often.
It's got to work at some point, but
awesome. One of the they jumped ahead. They've thrown me off now talking about that ahead of time. So now I got to backtrack a little bit. One of the things that I love about Real, amongst many things, is our flexibility on the options we offer people joining. Recently we've rolled out Pro Teams and White Label. Can one of you, either of you, speak on what that looks like as somebody joining and how that allows people to keep what they already have?
Yeah, so this is actually the second most favorite idea that I have. The first one is Real Wallet because it's futuristic, but Pro Teams is interesting and private label. So for people who don't know, the vision was that if an indie broker wanted to join Real, and say they have 50 agents, it's an extremely complicated and painful process for them to join because they have to go to 50 agents and explain to them all the fees that we have and how their splits, the way they used to have it was 70-30, but here it's 85-15, and don't worry, I'll take care of the difference, and the pain is too much. And for Real, we're in the growth space now. So a lot of big teams are talking to Sharon, and they come to Sharon and say, hey, I've got this complicated splits. What do I do? So we came up with the idea of pro teams and private label. Private label is the ability for you to have co-branding with Real. I'm not going to talk about that, but like that's a different thing. Pro teams is your ability to have a team at Real with any split you want. You in your team, you could run 50-50, 70-30, whatever you want, and you'll press a few buttons in our system, and you'll say, for this agent, it's this split. For this agent, it's this split. For this agent, I pay the fees. For this agent, I don't pay the fees. For this agent, I pay 50-50. Whatever you've got, like we can configure it, and then our software takes care of the whole thing. Like you don't have to manage your team splits or your team cap or any of that complexity. We do all of that work for you. And it's completely seamless. So when the agent opens the app, they only see their 70-30. In fact, what's really happening, it's 85-15, and like the team leader is, getting the difference back in this scenario, right? We also manage team caps. So when they cap, if the team leader has a maximum yearly cap of like say $30,000, we will manage that for you. So the first 12 will go to Real or 6K or 4K, whatever you've got, and the rest goes to the team leader. But we'll manage all of that for you. So that's enabling, this hyper growth that we've seen in the first 3 months, and I think it will continue to rock it.
In Real, we have multiple streams of revenue. We can obviously make money through real estate. Two of the things that I find most interesting is our opportunities to have joint ventures, whether that be with Real Title or with Real Mortgage. There are ways for us as agents to have revenue from that point. How would you best describe that for these people who are outside of our Real environment, and how they can generate income through these sources with attached to their real estate business?
Yeah. So the idea behind creating title JVs and offering a program that allows agents to become loan officers and a part of One Real Mortgage is, again, going back to the idea of creating more financial opportunities for our agents. So you're selling real estate, you're establishing relationships with your clients. Why not leverage them to make money out of title and mortgage as well? Because at the end of the day, it's a single transaction. You can monetize it in various ways. Again, commission, title, mortgage. So when we thought about us as a platform and how can we create more financial opportunities for our agents, we thought about those things. And I think that in 2022, things started expediting just because the market conditions were rough, and we wanted to create more ways for our agents to actually make more money. So right now we offer title JVs for agents and teams. If teams are interested in becoming a partner at our title company, they can step in, become a partner, funnel their transactions into that title company in which they own about 45 to 49%. And there are distributions at the end of every month or every quarter, depends on the JV. But this could be massive because for you as agents, as team leaders, you are already doing the transactions. You're already doing the work with the client. Why not get another paycheck for that? Same goes for mortgage. A lot of our agents are now getting licensed as loan officers and are joining One Real Mortgage, because if you're serving, 2 clients, 5 clients, 20 clients a year, this is substantial. It's a lot of money, and we pay out around 0.6% of the loan amount, which, do the math. Like on a $500,000 home, you'll be getting $3,000 or even north of that. So it's just a supplement to your commission check, which could be meaningful, and that can actually grow your earnings by 20, 30, 40% a year if you tap into those opportunities within Real.
So I can't have both of you on stage without putting you on the spot just a little bit. So we've talked about what we already know. What is the future? What is looking ahead? Where do you see us a year from now, 5 years from now?
We haven't thought about it.
Sure.
That's why I pointed that in.
No, so I think that most companies in our space, when you ask them that question, the immediate answer would be, we'll be at 20,000 agents, we'll be at 30. Like, agent count is what's leading this industry, and I think that this is not the way we think. We think about creating value, and then that value attracts people. So I think that if we look a little bit longer term, I would say a couple of things. One, we want to create technology that's so powerful that will actually give our agents a competitive advantage over every other agents in front of their clients. So right now, buying a home is it's a broken experience in many ways. And we're trying to improve it using technology. And once we have that product in place, I think that it'll put all of our agents on a different level in the marketplace. So people will actually want to work with real agents because they will want access to that technology that they cannot get anywhere else. So that will be a win for us, but that's a multi-year endeavor. Second, I think that if in the past we have seen companies acquiring technology just to say that they have technology that they can offer to their agents, and we've seen a lot of examples with KW and Remax and other companies where traditional brokerages were trying to apply technology in their business. Very often it failed. The example that Pritesh gave of us handling half the amount of another company's transactions with 9 people, whereas they have 400 people, it means that we have the ability to process transactions in a more efficient way than anyone else. We are the most efficient brokerage in the country. On top of that, if we have title, mortgage, the real wallet, we also know how to monetize transactions in a better way. So if you know how to process transactions better than everybody else, and you know how to monetize transactions better than everybody else, the only thing that's missing is transactions. How can we attract more transactions? So I think that over the next few years, what's likely to happen is, as a tech company, instead of traditional companies buying technology, I think we will see technology companies buying traditional companies for their transactions. So I think that there will be an interesting dynamic in the marketplace in a few years. So yeah, that's exciting for us.
It's super exciting.
I'll add one thing. So if you asked us 2 years ago, like what was going to happen, like we wouldn't have said real wallet. Right. So it's hard to, at the pace at which we move, like it's hard to have like a 2-year plan. Like we know 6 months and we know like 10 years. In the middle is where, it's harder. But I can see real wallet like growing exponentially in different directions, like asset management, retirement, account funding, retirement management for agents, like accounting for you, tax management. There's a lot that it can do, but it needs to have the framework for it. So it's all speculation at this point. Like what we know is that we're launching credit and debit, and we know like some crazy possibilities, but we need to like see how it works.
Let me go back and give you the standard answer to your question. So we've been adding about 1,000 agents net every month for the past few months. So you can kind of calculate, you can calculate the growth, and you can do the numbers of where we will be at the end of 2024 and 2025. We're just experiencing great momentum right now, and we're working very hard to make sure we live up to the expectations of all of you.
What do you think has caused that momentum?
Various things, starting with our model, with the technology, with the culture. I think that culture is, when I'm talking to investors and analysts, I'm trying to explain to them what culture means for agents, what it means for us. And for them, it's like, okay, is this trickling down to the bottom line? Is this creating more profitability? But I think that culture is a huge thing, and it's kind of a secret weapon that people maybe do not pay too much attention for. But a lot of the growth that we're experiencing can be attributed to that amazing culture of collaboration versus competition, of us building something together, of being a very flat organization, of the fact that Pritesh and I can dance in parties with our agents and hug everybody and just feel like one big family. And that's unique. So some people connect to it, some people don't, but that has a role in the growth.
Yeah, I think the culture is huge. I know when I'm speaking to people who aren't with Real and I try and explain it, you sort of have to start with a caveat of, this may sound cheesy, but it's actually real. it is genuine, the culture, and it's hard to express until you experience it. So I think it would be a great time, if you're open to it, to have some questions from the audience.
Sure.
Sure. Who wants to be a runner?
Where?
Hi, my name is Paul Donato, and my wife and I are with Real Broker, and we're from Melbourne. I have a question for you that is difficult in our business, and I'm having a hard time figuring it out. We use a lot of lead sources like OpCity or Ojo, where you pay large referral fees after the fees Real takes. Real Wallet is going to be something I'm going to be promoting to everybody that I talk to once it comes out, because it sounds fantastic. But the question I have is there any way to incorporate that for a team that we have? Because we have a pretty large team in downtown Melbourne. We have an office across from Whiskey Business, and we came from EXP. We were Icon agents. Every year we were there, we did very well. But Real attracted us because it saved us more money, and it seemed like it was going in the same direction. But the problem is that we don't have a lot of money to invest in the agents that we have and the things that we're doing. A lead source coming from Wallet or any way to get leads, because right now we just recently, in the last 4 days, invested some money to purchase leads. But I hear from a lot of people on our team, like when they buy Zillow, they're no good leads. There's just a lot of issues with lead programs out there. And we've tried doing seminars on how to do squeeze pages or to get our information out there so we can attract more leads to us that we don't have to pay for. But if Real Wallet can come up with a lead source where someone can get us on the phone and we can talk to that client, it's a lot more successful, because I'm very successful in OpCity. So I've sold a lot of deals through them because I like getting on the phone and like talking to them. The lead source that we just purchased promised 4 leads, $250 to start, and there's no commission at the end. We've gotten 2 of them so far, but a lot of the leads that we're getting they say stop. So the communication isn't out there. But if there was a way to get a lead program through Real, I would like to invest my money in that, because I feel it would be stronger, especially with you two up there, because you're very knowledgeable. And that's something that I'm here for, is to not only ignite my fire, but to help my team grow, because I always use the team that I have that I'm close with like family, because I handpick them. We love them, and we like doing real estate together. But I'd like to be able to offer something where our whole team can invest in a lead source that can keep them going, because they're very strong closers. They do very well in real estate, and they're very well known. I've tried.
So whether we can leverage the brokerage to get leads.
Yeah, to try and.
wants to
Is
take
Real
that?
going to start anything like OpCity for leads?
Yeah, I can take this one. So actually, the first system that we ever developed at Real in 2014 was a system that knows how to buy leads from Zillow and then send it to the agent that's most likely to close that lead. And we invested a lot of money in the system and in buying leads from Zillow. What we figured out about a year later is that the ROI was negative. And it was negative because when agents received the lead that was free, they didn't work that lead, and we just spent that money, and it didn't make sense for us. I think that now we're getting to a point in which it's starting to make sense again for us. We shut down that program, and we said, okay, these leads are now commodities. Agents can just go ahead and purchase them directly. I think that now it's starting to make sense for us again, just because we have this distribution network that's so large, because we have a lot of referral connections within the company. So we are starting to think about it. And we might end up even acquiring a company that focuses on that. But it has been very, very low priority. Now it's being a much higher priority. We don't have anything, immediate to announce, but it's on our minds.
So this is a little bit of a thank you to everybody on staff, Rebecca being the best broker I've ever had. Her leadership. I need everybody to vote for Rise 2024 for her to be the Broker of the Year award, because I want Tamir and Pritesh, I have to say, I was a part of independent brokerage. I helped grow it. And watching the culture for 2+ years, and actually talking to Tamir before I even started, really made it a welcoming transition to the brokerage. And I have to say that building wealth through Real has changed my life, but potentially my legacy for my family because of the stocks. The rev share is coming along. The company is going to grow without me or with me, so why not be a part of it? But I have to say, thank you so much for all you guys do. My question for you guys is, how can we put the wealth and the legacy on a pedestal for agents to know and understand at a very high level?
Thanks, George. Do you want to take this one? You mean from an education perspective?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest goal is I talk to agents, and the thing is, for me, when I first had an opportunity to join another cloud brokerage, 5-6 years ago, I looked at it and it was confusing to me. And now I speak to agents because I tell them and say, once you change your mindset, you're going to change your path in your life for the future. And more agents, which I'm sitting next to a couple right now, are not a part of the family, but they will be a part of the family someday when it's right for them. How can we better educate the agents that have been watching and are on the fence today?
Yeah, I think that there are a lot of resources on the Real Academy that can help in that. Also, since the beginning of the year, Sharon has done some seminars on wealth building under our model. But I think that what's happening right now is that we're starting to have a large number of agents who actually accumulated significant wealth because of the appreciation in the stock and revenue share as well. But let's focus on the stock. I think that the stock has benefited with a lot of people. So what we need to do is probably help those people become the voices in different markets of, okay, this is what the stock has done for me. This is what the success for me at Real looks like. Because nothing is more persuasive than a person actually telling their story. And I think that right now we're getting to a point where we have a lot of people that can actually tell stories. So I take that as a note for us to actually educate people on how to talk about the stock.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Anne Lenore, and I'm from Melbourne. When people say to me, what do you think about Real? I only have 2 words. In my other brokerage, I was an orphan, and with Real, I was adopted. That's how I explain why I went to Real, and how I feel about Real. And it happened after we've been in San Diego. Mm-hmm. I was convinced there. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
The culture,
I think it feels like family.
Yeah,
and
like I said, I was adopted.
Yeah, and San Diego felt like
yes,
a huge family in the same room. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It was magical.
Yeah, it was.
Anybody else? Well, you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Sifter. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I've only been with Real for 6 months, but I've been licensed 18 years, and so I was with a really large independent company. You probably know because you're right down the street from me. But my question is really more around luxury. So do you guys have any immediate plans to offer more programs, even if I have to purchase it? I get my brand, but not everybody knows me. So I would love to see if you have any comments as to some luxury.
It's actually the second conversation about luxury today. So yes, this is in the works. We're now gathering a group of luxury agents to actually help us jumpstart this, because we know enough, but probably not enough. So we just need to bring in the right partners. We brought in Kofi in California. So he's a strong force driving this, and we're adding a few more luxury agents. So if you want to be a part of this, then would love for you to help.
Hey, so I'm Claire Montgomery, also known as the Little Brit, all the way from Pensacola. So my question, you can probably tell my accent, I'm not from Florida, but I also lived in Spain for 24 years, had a brokerage back in Marbella. Now I have Pensacola Dream Living, but I also have Marbella Dream Living. So I'm interested to know, are there any plans for Real to maybe go international, specifically over to Europe?
Again, second question just today about international expansion. Honest answer is no. I think that there's so much potential for us in North America that it'll be probably irresponsible on our part to expand to Europe or other territories. I think that most companies go international because they're under pressure to show agent count growth, and we're not under that pressure. We want to create value. So until we feel comfortable that we nailed it in North America and we kind of provided everything we want to provide, we probably wouldn't be looking at international expansion. Having said that, I think that in the future, some interesting opportunities for acquisitions could present themselves, and that will open up international for us. So it's not on our plans for the next probably 24 months, but things could change.
Hello. So I don't have a question. I just want to say to you that my relationship with this company began with a resume to you in October on LinkedIn. And here I am. I am a practitioner for 31 years. I went through single agency, great big team, managing broker, and honestly, this is the most comfortable I've been in my industry since day one. Thank you so much.
Questions? Going once? Twice? We're good.
Awesome. Well, can we give a great big hand to Pritesh and Tamir? Thank you.
Let them hear you, everybody. Oh, come on, guys. It's Pritesh and Tamir.